Because we were impressed by previous offerings by MEElectronics and their headphones, we jumped at the opportunity to take a closer look at their newest offering, which is the Air-Fi Touch, a Bluetooth 4.0 enabled wireless pair of headphones that also offers an interesting touch gesture pad located on the spine of the unit, which allows you to adjust and control the volume, skip tracks, and also play pause your music. So it's a pretty unique headphone that also offers quite a bit of style and functionality. Taking a closer look at the packaging itself, we can see immediately that these headphones are kind of interesting looking because they have a square padding instead of a circular padding. During our testing, we found that it was a bit of a mixed bag in terms of comfort. If you wore glasses on a day-to-day basis, the square padding actually got in the way of the glasses and the arms of your glasses, so it didn't tend to be the most comfortable experience over time. But if you don't wear glasses, we found them to actually be very comfortable because they didn't apply too much pressure over your ears. Taking a closer look here, we have a interesting kind of box design going on. There's some information about the specifications on the back and also on the sides. The driver used here is 40 millimeters, and for special features we have aptX and CSR for specifications built in, and the manufacturer claims that these specifications will improve the overall sound quality of the headphones. And we found this was partially true, and we'll discuss those elements when we get to the sound quality portion of our review. On the side here, the device also weighs about 158 grams, which is pretty lightweight for a pair of portable headphones, and it uses Bluetooth 4.0, which is good, and the operating range is 30 feet, or 10 meters, and the talk time is rated at 24 hours. We got about 22 hours in real-life usage, and the device has about 200 hours of standby time before you have to recharge the unit, which takes about 2 hours to fully recharge. Pretty good presentation overall from the packaging. Inside the box itself, we have access to a hardshell carrying case that you can use to carry your headphones around, and also an accessories pouch that contains the wired connection port cable, which allows you to actually create a wired connection. If you don't want to use Bluetooth, you simply connect one end to the headphones, and on the other end, it's a simple 3.5mm jack that connects into your tablet or into your phone. So you don't want to use a wireless connection. You can always use the standard wired connection, and the cable here is gold-plated for an extra tight connection. Over here, we have a micro USB standard charging cable, which allows you to charge your headphones themselves, and it takes about 2 hours again to fully charge. The case itself is nice and rugged. It's a hardshell case which protects the device nicely when you're traveling, and on the inside there's also a monochrome black and white instruction manual that tells you how to operate the gesture area and also how to turn the device on and to connect it with a device. It's well documented and shows off all the features pretty well, so you can always check that out for more information. Inside we also have access to just the headphones themselves, and that's about it in the packaging. As far as design of the headphones themselves go, we were pretty impressed. Overall, it has a glossy plano black finish, which means that it tracks a large amount of fingerprints, but also looks fairly classy. On the downside, you do need to clean these headphones pretty regularly because they do, again, attract quite a bit of grime and dust as you play around with it and use your hands. But on the plus side, they do look, again, pretty shiny, and they do attract, a fair amount of light when you're using them, which is nice. As far as comfort goes, again, you can adjust the headband on the sides, which is crafted out of metal, which is pretty strong and nice and endured, which means that they do provide a pretty comfortable fit. Even if you have a smaller head or a larger head, it's easy to get a nice grip and to adjust it pretty easily. And when you're done and taking it with you when you're traveling, it simply folds downwards and you can take it with you. It's a very easy to use experience overall. Taking a closer look at the padding being used, it's a very soft kind of matte finishing that's going on that resembles leather. It's a synthetic leather material that's very soft over your ears, so it doesn't apply too much pressure. As far as wearing it for over 2 or 3 hours, it doesn't build up too much heat, but on the sides here, you'll notice that over time it does get kind of pushed down a little bit, so it becomes not as comfortable over time just because the cushion kind of wears off. But overall, it does do a pretty good job of protecting your ears when you're wearing it so that it alleviates any pain or any discomfort to a large extent. And on top, there's also additional padding that's the same material being used as the ear padding that pads the headphones over your head, and it's pretty comfortable as well. You notice what's kind of interesting about the Air-Fi Touch is that there's also this gold band going on. Personally, I think that it's a pretty attractive touch and it makes the device look pretty classy. The Air-Fi Touch only comes in this one color, which is this black and gold model, so it doesn't come in any other color options. So perhaps something down the road for the manufacturer to add, which would be more color schemes for people to customize, but at the moment you can only select from this one model. So on the side here, you'll see that on the left-hand spine, you have access to the controls that I aforementioned, including the volume, the skip track, and the play pause. And after you take the sticker off, you actually can't tell anymore kind of which spine features these controls, so you have to kind of memorize that. What I found interesting was that the capacitive controls here are very sensitive, but there's no way of really feeling where the buttons are. Again, it's completely sleek with the surface of the unit, so it takes a bit of acclimation to get used to. So for me, it took about 20-30 minutes of playing around with it to fully get comfortable, just because there isn't any physical differentiating part like a physical tactile dot or anything for my fingers to find, but I kind of had to play around with it to get used to. But after I got used to it, the controls themselves were very intuitive because you simply go up to change the volume up, change it down, so it's skip track going left or right, playing pause by tapping on the center, so it's very easy to kind of get the hang of it after you start using it, but initially you just have to get situated with where the controls are, because there isn't, again, any place that tells you where along the spine exactly it is. Otherwise, you see here we have access to the control for you to plug in the wired connection if you don't want to use Bluetooth. There is an LED indicator on the side that tells you when the device is being turned on. If it's flashing red and blue, it means that it's starting to pair, and you can connect it with a tablet or a phone. On the side here, there's also access to a power on and off switch. You tap it for a few seconds to turn the device on or off. And on the other side, we have access to a micro USB cable for charging and syncing, and an additional LED indicator to tell you when the charging has been complete. The LED will turn green. So a pretty intuitive design going on overall. That's fairly attractive. It's not very traditional just because of this kind of gold accents and also this square-like padding, but overall it definitely makes for an attractive headphone in terms of design all in all. As far as sound quality is concerned, I will say that these are also very excellent. They actually surprised me with the amount of detail that it offered, especially with the Bluetooth department, because it offered very little hissing or very little static when being connected to a phone or a tablet. So it's very simple to pair and connect, and after you connect it with a phone or tablet, I found the sound quality, even over Bluetooth YouTube music and also over online music and online videos, to be quite sharp and responsive and impressive overall. What I found was I heard a lot more detail from these than competing headphones, such as some other headphones in the same kind of price bracket of around $99. These offered a lot more kind of sounds that you could hear in instrumentals behind the background that other headphones kind of hid. So for example, I was playing back this video that I found online of this instrumental and that features some vocals, and using my computer speaker, using some other headphones, I couldn't hear kind of all the instruments being played in the background. But when I wore these, I could hear everything from the bass being used to the violin to the singer that was singing the song. I could hear each of the different parts very distinctly. And that's something that really shows that these headphones have a lot of detail, as opposed to others in the same price bracket might lose those similar amounts of detail. So as far as sound quality goes, I'm pretty impressed with what the device offers for the money. Now, one department that these headphones aren't as good at would be at providing a really large amount of bass. I found that when playing back music, they offered really good tone overall and a pretty good performance in day-to-day different types of genres like pop music, electronic music. But if you're playing back sounds with a lot of bass to them, they are a bit weaker in comparison with some more traditional over-the-ear pair of studio headphones, which offer a more traditional circular padding to them, as opposed to this kind of square padding. One last element I'm going to discuss is sound leakage. I'm going to say that because of the square padding and because it's flush with your ears as opposed to being wrapped over your ears, it do leak out a bit more sound than other competing models might. So if I'm sitting by someone and they're wearing these, I will hear the music a bit louder than perhaps, again, a more traditional pair of headphones. But at the same time, it's not too noticeable. It doesn't really distract anyone else. I tried testing these on a train, and no one really gave me any looks or anything like that. But I could definitely notice that they leaked out a bit more sound than some other headphones I've used in the past. All in all, I'm pretty impressed with these headphones in terms of the design and also the styling. They're lightweight, they're really small, and for the money, they offer a lot of innovation and unique features, inclusive of that gesture touchpad and the fact that it has pretty strong musical performance, and it's very important as far as headphones go. And the Bluetooth performance also delivers as far as providing an experience that's seamless and doesn't offer that much hiccup between the connection between the device and your phone, and also the connection itself doesn't have any hissing in the background, which is always good. So overall, as far as a pair of Bluetooth 4.0 enabled headphones goes, I would say that the MEElectronics Air-Fi Touch definitely does the job. It does it in style as well. You can check out our full written review on our website. This has been our video review here at OS Reviews. Thank you for watching.